Hi everybody, this is Danny from Lantana Games, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use the new Mondrian Studio toolset, which is built into Mondrian Plastic Reality as of the Creators Update. So the first thing you're going to want to do is come on into Mondrian Maker from the main menu, and you're either going to want to make a level in here, or open a level, and preferably you're going to want to open one that does not yet have a thumbnail. So, for instance, in this case, we're going to go with, well, Metasquare has one, Metastar has one, Metatry does not. So we're going to work on one that doesn't have a thumbnail. So we'll open up Metatry, and you're going to want to go to the Play Your Level button. And now, where it used to say Save and Exhibit, it now says Open in Studio. So we're going to click that. And the level will open up in Mondrian Studio. And Mondrian Studio is all contained in this little box in the corner. There's 5 tabs, and we're going to be going through each one individually. So the first tab is Custom Framing. And in here, you can activate crop marks for printing. So you can get crop marks just on their own, or you can get registration marks to help center your print, view CMYK color info, all that good stuff. Rotation we're going to come back to in a second. Because we're at a 1x1 size frame, we're not actually going to be able to see it rotate. Size ratio, if you move this slider around, you can see we have a few different sort of standard frame sizes that you can use for your images. Keep in mind that Steam Workshop icons, thumbnails, need to be either 1x1 or 4x3. For the purposes of this tutorial, we're going to stick with 4x3 for now. So you can also see when you rotate, it'll rotate the frame 90 degrees. And I'll tell you what, let's leave that at 90. And the visibility slider, when we move that, you can see if all is visible, then you have the frame and you have the negative space. You can turn off the frame and just leave the negative space. You can turn off the negative space and just leave the frame. Or you can turn off everything and just view your level. So we'll leave it like that for now because that's pretty cool. So over in the Color Palette tab, this is where things get really interesting. You can see there's a lot of controls in here, but don't be intimidated. So the first thing to know, primary color. There are 12 primary colors you can pick from. And for the purposes of this tutorial, we'll keep it simple to start. So we'll start with red. And anytime you make a change in the color palette, you need to click the fill button. Once you click the fill button, everything will update. Color harmony, this is where you can control the primary and secondary colors that go along with it. So, for instance, if we just want to see red in our level, we can set that to monochrome, and everything turns all red. If we want some complementary colors to go along with it, with red, that would be cyan. Click that, and then we get some cyan generating in there as well. We can go adjacent, in which case it'll look for secondary colors that are next to the primary color. And at the 30-degree scheme width, that would be orange and rose. But if we go to 60 degrees and then refill, we get yellow and magenta. I happen to like the 30 degrees, so we'll go with that. And then the brightness sliders do just what they say. So if we want a really dark image, we can go with like 15% down to, oh heck, even 15 to 20, and we can get a really, really dark image. Or we can move the max brightness up and get something with some higher contrast. Or we can crank both to 100% and get neon colors. So go ahead and experiment with these because there's a lot that goes on in here. And, like I said, there are 12 different primary colors, so we can go with, here's orange adjacent, so we also get yellow and red to go along with that. Or we can move that scheme width up, and then we can get chartreuse and rose. And this neon's pretty obnoxious, so I'm going to drop this down to about 40 to 70. That's a little more subtle. There are other color harmonies as well. There's adjacent complementary, so that will add the complementary. We're still on orange now. Move this back to red. So that'll add the complementary cyan, for instance. There's triad, which will look onto the opposite end of the color wheel and then branch out from there. Of course, 60 degrees on that as well, or 30. Triad complementary, we'll throw in the cyan. And let me turn that brightness back up so you can get a better sense of what's going on. Tetrad will actually create little rectangles around the color wheel, is the best way to think about it. And tetrad actually has 5 different widths that you can pick from. And then finally, there are 3 sort of special color harmonies as well. There's completely random. There's just absolutely no rhyme or reason behind it. It's just the game goes crazy and gives you crazy colors. There's distyle, which will stick strictly with red, blue, yellow, and a couple different shades of gray. That'll give you that classic Mondrian look. And there's grayscale, which will cut out all color and just give you shades of gray. So I'm going to go back to adjacent. I really, really like the look of that. Might want to turn the brightness down just a tiny little bit, though. Minimum brightness. And get a little more contrast out of it. So the next tab over is the background canvas tab. And in here, you can select from the different background images that the game comes with. You can also import your own images using there's like a little template in the extras folder. Go ahead and find that, and that'll help you bring your own backgrounds in. And we'll probably look into ways to make that even easier in the future. But for now, you can go ahead and select the background that you like. I like Hepburn here, so I'll go with Audrey. There are 3 different styles that you can pick from. There's full color, or you can go one color, and that will actually pull from the primary color that you select. So if we go back to the color tab and pick a completely different color like blue and fill, you can see all of a sudden it's blue. Or if we go magenta, we get magenta. Or if we go green, you get green. You know, it's completely up to you how you want to play around with this. I actually really like that. And then you can, of course, toggle the background image on and off entirely. In the visual effects tab, the default settings are what you've already got set up in the main menu under the special effects menu. But you can also activate or deactivate them here. So CRT filter, you can turn that on, in which case you can see we've got some CRT lines going down the screen. Or you can turn it off and not have them. Film grain, you can see film grain is on already, so we've got a little bit of dust speckles going over everything. Or you can turn that off and get a much cleaner look. And then night mode will actually fade in and out. And so this way, you know, it's just a whole lot more pleasant to go from light to dark. So you can choose whether you want your image to be light or you want your image to be dark. And go ahead and play around with brightness to mix in with this as well, because you can get a very dark image with a dark background, or you can get a full neon image with a dark background, or really anywhere in between. It's completely up to you. For now, I'll keep night mode off, and I'll keep this. It's a little dark for my taste, so I'll turn that back up. And then finally, there's the snapshot capture tab, and for this, I'm actually going to turn the frame back on. I want that, and I want that one. Okay, so actually, I want that. And you know what? I'll bring this back to 1 by 1. So, capture size. Full frame will capture the outermost pixel of the frame inward, as you can see here. Interior will capture everything inside the outer frame. Frame and crops will capture outside the frame plus outside this crop area as well. So when you capture that, you can see down there, there's our CMYK info. That's copied everything just outside. And then finally, full window will capture your entire window corner to corner in case you want to make a desktop image or a full-size screenshot. And you can't really tell that it's captured everything right there, but if I go back here and I turn my visibility, say, to none, and then I capture it, you can see it has captured the full window. I'm going to go back to full frame. I'm going to turn my frame back on. So we also have some logos that you can throw in if you feel like promoting Mondrian and Mondrian Studio while you're making stuff. So you can turn on the regular Plastic Reality logo, or Mondrian Maker, Mondrian Studio, the cast logo. Got a couple different icons you can use. Got the Lantana Games logo. Got the flower. And we've got a QR code for our Steam page. So this is completely up to you which one you want to use, or you can use none. I'm going to go with the full Plastic Reality logo. You can also choose which corner to put it in. And if you have your frame size set to full window, it will actually move the logo over into the window corner instead. And it is here, but it keeps it hidden until you copy or save, and then it will put it in if you have it on bottom right. So finally, there's the save thumbnail function. And this you'll want to use if you're uploading your level to Steam Workshop in particular. So what I'm going to do, because Steam Workshop can only read 1x1 or 4x3 images, I'm going to set this to full frame. I'm going to make sure that my frame is set to 1x1, which I can tell right here it is. And then I'm just going to hit save. And once I've hit save, the message will come up that says save to thumbnails. And I'll do it again. Save to thumbnails. And I'm all set in here, so I can just quit. And that'll jump me right back into Mondrian Maker, at which point I can hit the share button. And you can see my thumbnail has come up in the share window. And if I didn't have a thumbnail, this Steam button would not come up. And in fact, this would look like a classic, broken image icon. So, I can open up a level that does not have a thumbnail, for instance. And when I share, you can see Mirror Square is just a broken image. Doesn't exist. But with a thumbnail in place, I can go nuts. So, let's take Checker Diamond, for instance. This has a thumbnail. This is a completely different level. And I go to share, and that's ready to share. So I can just click the Steam button, and it's up on Workshop. And in fact, if I were to go to Steam Workshop, which I can do right from the main menu, I can click Creations. Steam Community comes up. And I can go to Files I've posted. And you can see right here, there's Checker Diamond. And there you go. It's that easy to create a thumbnail for your level and get that up onto Steam Workshop. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope that this was helpful, and hope you'll go check out Mondrian Plastic Reality on Steam. Mondrian Studio is included for free. Mondrian Maker is included for free. Go ahead and use the tool to not only make levels, but share on social media, make t-shirts, postcards, whatever you feel like. It's pretty competent little graphic design suite built right into the game. And I hope you enjoy and hope you have fun. Thank you for playing, and talk to you soon.